Hello everyone. In this video, I will teach you how to write a good argumentative writing. Let me start by asking you a question. How important is writing? This is the syllabus information, and I'm sure this is nothing stranger to you. For paper 1, which is your writing component, it is divided into 3 sections. Section A being editing, which carries 10 marks. Section B being situational writing, which carries 30 marks. And Section C being continuous writing, which carries 30 marks. So now back to the question on how important writing is. Let's say you've obtained 8 out of 10 marks for editing, 25 out of 30 marks for situational writing, and 25 out of 30 marks for continuous writing. That means you have scored 58 upon 70 for the whole paper 1. And if you do some calculation, you will realize that you have secured 29% the marks for your overall grade. That's a lot. Let me now show you the marking rubrics for continuous writing. A band 1 writing gives 26 to 30 marks. In the writing, simple structures will be accurate. There will be a variety of structures which are generally successful. There will be instances of add and wide vocabulary. There will be a good sense of paragraphing demonstrating its use as a device for linking ideas and providing unity to the piece of writing. Spelling and punctuation will be largely accurate. The candidates will be confident in the use of full stops to separate sentences. There may be sprinkling of grammatical errors, including some very occasional tense or verb formation slips, but this will not hinder conveying the intended message to the reader. Response will be fully relevant, the register and tone consistently appropriate, and the reader's interest will be aroused and sustained. You will get 20 to 25 marks if your writing is in the second band. This means your writing has structures which are generally accurate and will show some variety, with some successful complex sentences. Vocabulary will convey intended meaning with some precision. Paragraphs will be used appropriately and will show some sense of linking and unity. Spelling and punctuation will generally be accurate. Full stops will nearly always be used to separate sentences. There may be some grammatical errors, including a few tense or verb formation errors, but these will not confuse the reader. Response will be relevant, the register and tone appropriate, and there will be some attempt to arouse and sustain the interest of the reader. This is the rubrics for a band 3 writing, and I believe this is the band where most students fall in. A band 3 writing have structures that are generally accurate, although they may be repetitive with occasional errors. There will be some attempt to write more complex sentences, but this may not always be successful. Vocabulary will be simple but will convey intended meaning. Paragraphs will probably be used but may lack linking and unity. Spelling of simple vocabulary and elementary punctuation will be largely accurate. Full stops will be used to separate sentences, but their use may not be fully secure. There may be a noticeable incident of grammatical errors, including some serious tense or verb formation errors, but these will not obscure meaning. Response will be relevant, the register and tone generally appropriate, and there will be an attempt to arouse and sustain the interest of the reader, although this may not be sustained. Here are the rubrics for writings that is categorized as band 4 to band 6. You might want to take a look at it. I recommend you to study the rubrics of the band you usually are in and the band above it. After showing you the rubrics, have you figured out the features of a good writing? Well, these are the features of a good writing. My advice to you is, to write a good writing, you should vary your sentence structure, which means you should vary the way you phrase your sentence, and try to write complex sentences. Also, try using a wide range of vocabulary in your writing as well. Most importantly, the content of your writing should be interesting, and the tone of your writing should be appropriate. In other words, the tone cannot be too formal or too informal. Lastly, minimize grammatical, spelling, punctuation, and paragraphing errors as much as possible. Now let's talk about the general format of an argumentative writing. The first paragraph is an introduction to the writing. The second, third, and fourth paragraph is your main argument. The fifth paragraph is your acknowledgement of the opposing view, which is optional, and the last paragraph is a conclusion to your writing. What can we write for the introduction? Well, you can briefly write about the topic. Try to link the topic to real life to arouse the interest of the readers. For example, you can start by saying, "Have you ever wondered?" and link it to the topic. Near the end of your introduction, please write down your 3 main arguments as well. For the main argument paragraphs, you should first write down your main point at the start of your paragraph, followed by your argument. You should end off your paragraph by giving it a closing link. What I believe many of you will ask me is, how to argue? My answer is, argue using the SAFER method, which stands for statistics, anecdote, facts, explanation and elaboration, as well as reliable source. What if I didn't read a lot and still don't know how to argue? Help! Is this your reaction? Well, relax please. You can argue using anecdotes. Because lucky for you, the topics are usually linked to real life, and I believe you have some real life experience about that topic. Thus, you can write them down to argue your case. For the paragraph where you attempt to acknowledge the opposing view, first, you should acknowledge it. Next, try to diffuse it, and of course, elaborate on how to diffuse it. Last but not least, to write a conclusion, you should again, like in the introduction, write down your main points at the start of the paragraph. End the paragraph by giving a short closing statement. Let's have some practice now. Here's a question that may interest you. Gaming is bad for us. Do you agree? I'll now show you how I will attempt this question. You might have heard your parents nagging at you, complaining that you spend long hours gaming. You might have also attended many gaming workshops talking about the adversities of gaming. You may also feel that I am going to be another person to tell you the disadvantages of gaming and to convince you to cut down on your gaming hours. Well, you're wrong. I'm here to tell you the advantages of gaming instead. In my point of view, gaming can improve a person's character, train a person to be more precise, and even help cure certain ailments. Does this arouse your interest? Try writing such introduction. It will interest the readers. Gaming companies have definitely realized that gaming have been negatively impacting many people. Therefore, some gaming companies have tried coming out with games that do the reverse, enhance a person's character. This is my elaboration and explanation. Also, write down some games that is proven to improve a person's character. This is a fact or statistic. You can also write down some of your experience where you realize that gaming improved your character. Some arcade shooting games help train a person to aim accurately. Statistics have shown that surgeons or soldiers training their precision through games really help them. And if you have played any game that require precision, you can write about it as well. People with certain injuries try gaming to distract them from the pain. People who need exercise for their muscle due to some illnesses can also try gaming if normal exercises is too difficult for them. And if you have tried game therapy, which means you realize that gaming have improved your health, please write it down as well. Kinect games can motivate people to exercise as well. Some say that no, gaming causes addiction, which can lead to many problems. However, in my point of view, one can prevent addiction if he can control himself. Thus, I recommend that one should seek help from a trusted adult should he realize he is addicted to games. This prevents them from being adversely impacted from gaming. In conclusion, gaming is like water. It can fetch and sink a boat. Therefore, one should practice self-control to prevent oneself from being addicted to games so that he can enjoy the benefits of games, including improving his character, improving his precision, or even improve his health. I've used a quote in this paragraph. If you can use such quotes, please use it. This is a good way to argue. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something meaningful from this video.